Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. Hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
This is Ty.
And you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast, where apparently Donald Trump tuned in, but didn't like what we have to say. I guess he was extremely disappointed that he wasn't getting any advice on how to actually pardon the insurrectionists. I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah, he left us a pretty terrible review, 1 star. But like, look, if you want to help balance out the ratings, you can go to pardontheinsurrection.com, leave us a review.
Wait. Okay, a parody?
I was about to say, I see what you did there, but then Ty was like, I don't see what you did there.
Pretty much.
Anyway, yeah, you can head to pardontheinsurrection.com, leave us a 5-star review. If you leave us anything less than 5 stars, I'm inclined to believe that you are a Republican.
That couldn't have anything to do with my lack of preparation and talent.
Nah, it's not you. I'm totally certain of that.
Drunken co-hosts.
Nah, look, okay, disclaimer before we even get started. I'm slightly intoxicated. I'm less intoxicated than I thought I would be as we're recording this podcast because,
Sobering up for a while.
After a hard day of labor, I took the opportunity after work to waltz down to the restaurant bar and grab me a drink, and the bartender made me like a triple. It was like an old fashioned, but instead of like a single shot of bourbon or a shot and a half, it was like 3. So yeah, I was quite schmammered. But for our pre-show meeting, me, Ty, and Carol engaged in like a therapy session, and that gave me enough time to potentially sober up slightly.
You usually do.
I feel like I look really pretty today.
You're extraordinarily pretty, Ty.
I feel pretty today.
The unfortunate
while you were saying that, you were like, "Ah, really."
The unfortunate issue with your degree of beauty this evening is that no one can see you because this is audio only format.
She looks very pretty.
But yes, for anyone who's wondering, Ty's got her hair's down. It's extremely long and it's got like these soft curls, and she's like brushing them as we speak. And she's got a low cut top on.
It looks real happy,
dipping down into her cleavage. And my description of her is making her
I've been
glow.
getting a whole lot of dick.
Congratulations, Ty. I've been getting no dick. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. I'm not entirely sure.
I can give you my ex's number.
I've been getting some
I don't know.
Level of dick between those two levels of dick.
Yeah. All right, Ty. I'm not entirely sure we have the same taste in men. So I'm going to pass on that opportunity to go, clean up after your sloppy seconds. Anyway, we've got a few. What was that?
I said, or my sloppy 45th or 46.
We don't even say the number 45.
No, not that one. Yeah, I'll say 35th.
Yeah, there you go. No, we don't use that number either. That's too close to remind me of how my ancestors were slaved. I'm traumatized. 3/5. That's how much of a vote we got. Although we didn't get it. Anyway,
there shall be no numbers of any kind, except to say we have one sponsor, and we should just mention him real quick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sheets and Giggles. Of course, if you're not familiar with Sheets and Giggles, they have the most incredible sheets, pillows, eye masks, mattresses, and I think he even got like some new flannel sheets for the holiday season on sale.
And he's gonna send me a pillow, Colin. King size.
Okay, Carol, I'll tell Colin you need a fucking pillow. But yeah,
I'm sure he's listening. Thanks, Colin, for listening. You're a great sponsor.
He does tune in every once in a while. But yeah, sheetsandgiggles.com.
The time that he does is when it's going to be just fuckery off the rails.
Absolutely. So make sure, like, it's the holiday season. Check out sheetsandgiggles.com. Like, your family and friends deserve a wonderful night of sleep. Get them something good to enjoy a peaceful night of sleep with from Sheets and Giggles. All right, so we got a few headlines to cover here. Hopefully we won't spend your entire holiday season with this one podcast, although I'm sure we can make this thing 47 straight hours long with the amount of insanity that's been occurring in the political landscape. But where we're going to start off first is with the town hall that Trump attended that was hosted by Sean Hannity the past weekend, where Trump declared, after being asked numerous times by Sean Hannity whether or not he was going to be a dictator, that Trump said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
Only on day one. Well, don't worry. Once he's taken care of everything in his agenda, he won't have to do anything else because, he's already enforced his agenda so effectively. And as you guys recall from his presidency, he was often good at affecting his plans instead of just, I guess what I'm trying to say is he had a great health plan and the infrastructure week was off the hook.
Yeah, we're still only 2 weeks away from getting his healthcare plan.
He partied like it was 1999 when he got
Anyway, that guy's gonna be a dictator forever until he dies.
And that's Dick with a K. CK.
Yeah, Heil Shitler. No, I feel like it goes without saying that anyone that's running on a campaign platform of, yes, I'm going to be a dictator, but only for a day, is not only probably lying to you, but they must be fucking insane because it's a democracy. Who's running on, I'm going to end democracy?
And pogrom half the population. So,
oh man, well, Carol, you're Jewish. You have something to look forward to. You get to be interned in pogroms with the rest of the Jewish community. Ty, me and you,
that doesn't sound like something to look forward to at all.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be sucking dick for potatoes. Like, that's not how I envision my.
I thought you were gonna say I got to be a model minority first.
Well, Ty, I don't think
they wouldn't.
Well, let's see. Hopefully,
well, Todd, you and I are black, so we're going to end up on the plantation. You don't have to worry about sucking dick for potatoes because you're not going to get any potatoes afterward.
No, that's not fair.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, but I feel like just like it goes without saying. Just look, if anyone asks you if you're going to be a dictator and you're running for president, the clear and obvious and easy answer, it's a layup, should be no. I mean, I don't understand. And then to like try and qualify it, well, I'll only be a dictator for one day. It's like going to McDonald's and ordering a single French fry.
So that would be silly and dumb. But at least once you only, that would be more like saying you're only going to eat one of like an extra large. And then you still are going to because no one.
And that French fry is cold. That's going to be the gag. Like it's not even a hot fry. It's a fucking cold fry.
Oh my God, man! And look, it was funny because like over the course of the week, the media went from like not really covering it at all, and apparently someone got the memo out that like, hey man, if he wins, the first thing he's going to do is come after the media. And, of course, this is commentary from Steve Bannon and Kash Patel themselves saying that, day one in office, they're going after the media. Someone must have got the memo.
Should that not have been obvious? Like, do they not realize their lives are at stake? Like,
that's
no, Carol.
They're going to be firmer.
They think this is a fucking TV show, but someone must have got the memo because I've been listening to a little bit of MSNBC over the course of the day, every day this week. In the last couple of days, they've been real heavy on Biden's economy is fucking booming. There's jobs everywhere. He's leading in the polls. It's incredible. Like they've been kissing Biden's ass. And I'm like, oh, they must realize if Trump wins, they're going to die. The tune has changed. They ain't talking about how, even like you remember a couple of weeks ago, when we had those elections. Yeah, I know, right? A couple of weeks ago, it's like an eternity in Trump years. We had those elections. Republicans got their asses kicked all across the country. And the first thing the media was doing, CNN in particular, was hopping on TV, stumbling all over themselves to tell you how Trump was leading in the polls and how even though Republicans were getting smashed, it was bad for Joe Biden.
Like, which polls? Like, they're like, oh, well.
the poll at the local Piggly Wiggly.
My point is they were ignoring actual votes, showing Republicans getting hammered to like shove down our throats how the polls are bad for Biden. That has disappeared, at least on MSNBC. Yeah, they out here telling the truth now. I guess they've realized like they've done a fucking poor ass job over the past 3 years telling the public the kind of job Biden is doing.
Or they're just getting enough ratings off of the Israel-Palestine war.
No,
Call it.
I don't think that's.
They're just yeah, maybe you're right. Or maybe they got their own shit going on right now. That's not the story.
I think they've just realized, a number of people have realized, hey, they're going to wake up one day in 2025, Trump's president, and the fucking, park police or I don't know, whatever fucking government agency Trump wants to use, DHS, is kicking down the door 30 Rock and dragging their asses out of there and locking them the fuck up. Yeah. So now they're trying to make up for a missed opportunity by finally telling you the truth about the state of the country and the good job.
I hope you're right. I mean, I don't doubt that it's been happening the last several days, but I hope you're.
I feel like if I could pinpoint a day, I would say it was Tuesday when I was listening to Chris Hayes' show, and he was like, Trump is up in the poll. I mean, Biden is leading Trump in the polls, and the media is not talking about it. I was like, you're the media. But you're finally doing your job. Great job. At least you, the one guy who's like, and now everyone on MSNBC has changed their tune. It's fucking incredible. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't know how much MSNBC you watch. But like, if you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, you probably realize the changing tune yourself. But, yeah, man, like just, Trump should be disqualified from running for office. This isn't fucking difficult. Like no one should be running on a platform of being a dictator. Anyway.
Like, release me from prison so I can go to my inauguration and then start executing people.
Yeah, look, we're laughing about this, but if Trump wins, he literally is going to kill us all. House Speaker.
He may have to be released from prison for his inauguration. Let's not forget that part.
See, you're
I'll get a laugh about that when I'm being dragged away.
Okay, you're making a joke, but Trump's literal only way of staying out of prison at this point is to win in 2024. But if he does win, he ain't going to prison. Or if he's in prison, he's getting out. They're not going to lock up the president of the United States, sadly, unfortunately, not in federal prison anyway. And, I guess there's like considering the way the supremacy clause of the Constitution is worded, it's entirely possible that states don't have the ability to incarcerate a president either. Let's just save ourselves from that fucking headache and vote for Joe Biden and make sure he wins in 2024.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. And this is insane because I'm normally the person pointing out how the media, like, they note this insane shit and just move on from it like it's totally normal on to like Cats or whatever the fucking next story of the day is. And we're doing the same thing fucking here. But at least I'm telling you it's insane. All right, moving on. House Speaker Mike Johnson announced that he'll be releasing sensitive footage of the Capitol on 1/6 during the insurrection, but he'll be blurring the faces of participants in order to prevent them from being prosecuted by the FBI. Ty, why in the fuck is Mike Johnson blurring the faces of people who attacked the Capitol? Go.
Well, it probably includes his own, being that he's a fucking insurrectionist.
It's as a professional courtesy,
Basically, he's like, I'm gonna blur the faces of half of Congress, or at least
professional courtesy.
Yeah. I mean, he is the speaker, I mean, it's only the right thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, if you're unaware of Mike Johnson's role in 1-6, he was one of the individuals in Congress who spearheaded the effort to present some amicus brief. Is that how you say it? Amicus brief?
Yeah.
Carol? I know some people like to say it amicus. I'm an amicus guy.
Well, that's Sidney Powell says it. So anything she says, I'm going the opposite direction.
Total opposite. All right. Amicus briefs to the court, suggesting that the 2020 election was rigged and arguing in favor. Anyway, so he's one of the fucking fake elector dudes in Congress who helped orchestrate that plot as well. I engage in a little exercise on Twitter. I guess it's no longer Twitter, but again, it's going to always be Twitter in my heart. That's how I will forever remember it. We can call it Twix if you want to. That's the way I like to do it. I'm left Twix. Anyway, so I engaged in this little exercise on the Twix where I was asking Republicans, specifically the MAGA types, to explain to me who it is that attacked the Capitol on January 6th and why a Republican Speaker of the House is blurring out their faces. And let me tell you, they ain't got no fucking answers.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going to have to wait and not see what's on that tape.
Oh, we're going to not see it, huh? Is that a little joke about our upcoming dictatorship that we're all?
No, I was just meant because their faces would be blurred out, but I'm sure you'll still see their Nazi.
Mike Johnson wants us to not see their faces.
They want to not see their face. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Heil Shitler. No, but it was really funny trying to watch people twist themselves into knots to explain how the people who attacked the Capitol on January 6th weren't Trump supporters, but also while Mike Johnson was trying to blur their faces to save them from being prosecuted by the FBI. Also yet another side note, isn't that the very definition of giving aid and comfort to insurrectionists? I don't know.
Plus, maybe they're putting all those people up for some sort of, primary soon.
We'll get to that.
Picking their candidates directly from that pool.
They don't want Mike Johnson doesn't want you to know who's running for Congress in 2024. I don't know what they
haven't. And if Donald J. Trump ends up in jail and can't run in the primaries, maybe they're just the future president could be in that crowd.
Oh, well, that's true.
The future
2028 is going to be wild.
Yeah, well, sadly, he's only going to be president for a minute, and then he'll be dictator for a day, and then he'll be king for the rest of his life, which I hope will be short should he somehow manage to win.
I feel like he should be reunited with all of his favorite people, including Rush Limbaugh, Pat Robertson,
Jeffrey Epstein,
and
his first wife. Just his friends, just his friends and accomplices. That's all we need.
Do you think Trump was a big Henry Kissinger fan? Because I feel like that was
well, he is now that somebody told him that Kissinger in Crayon was, a genocidal maniac who killed people of color.
I feel like now that he's died, he was the one person in all of I don't want to say pop culture, but American culture that everyone was crossing their fingers and waiting on to die. And of course, he lasted a long ass time. But now that dude is gone, who is taking his spot? What is the person we're all collectively looking around, wondering, damn, he ain't dead yet? It's got to be Trump, right?
Rush Limbaugh still alive?
No, he's burning in hell as we speak.
So who's the other guy? Thought was dead. And Okay.
The one we thought was Newt Gingrich?
Yeah, I keep thinking
No, that remember Mike Pence was calling him, weeks before January 6th, being like, hey, man, are you sure I can't overthrow the democracy on
Well, that was like
Dan
5
Quayle.
people, though. He literally went through his speed dial.
He called everybody.
Everybody. Like, literally.
I mean, that is a pretty good reminder that, like, Mike Pence
I
isn't
got a question for you.
What up, yo? Oh, yeah. He was asking them. Like, yeah. This is a perfect reminder that Mike Pence is no hero in all of this. Like, of course, he did show up in January 6th to do the right thing. But as I constantly remind people, that's the bare minimum requirements of the job. Don't overthrow the fucking democracy. Like, it's not that hard.
He showed up after asking everyone he knew, like, to, justify his.
Give him some kind of out that he could do it.
Yeah. And everybody was like, no. And then secretly, he was like, well, then if I can't help overthrow our democracy, I'm going to just not go and let everybody else do it.
Yeah. He's such a fucking wimp.
All right, man. Yeah.
So you think he really was planning not to be there, and it wasn't that they were planning to remove him from the premises? Because
no. He was actually planning on not going. And then supposedly over a dinner with his son, his son served in the military, and his son convinced him, over the course of the dinner, like, hey, we took the same oath to serve our country and the Constitution. You got to go do your fucking job. Now, of course, like, these notes that Mike Pence took contemporaneously, I'm sure were written with the, like, forward looking with the idea that they might someday be made public. So I'm sure he wrote it in, like, the best possible light. But yeah, son telling him, hey, man, stop being a bitch, seems to be the impetus for him showing up on January 6th to certify Biden's election. Now, granted, again, we was all looking around on January 5th when Chuck Grassley was like, Pence ain't gonna be here, and we was like, huh?
Right?
We was like the meme with the black dude, and he like looks to the side with his.
So he was agreed to not be there, and when he showed up, they tried to make him not there again.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That makes like that whole tweet from Trump about how Mike Pence doesn't have the courage to do what should be done, even more incriminating. Given that Pence wasn't supposed to be there, and all the Republicans knew it.
Well,
yep, this podcast is going to be 14 hours, so we're moving on. Kevin McCarthy, former House Speaker, and also Kevin McCarthy, former Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
The almost former congressman.
No, he's now currently a former congressman because he announced his resignation, saying that he was going to retire at the end of the year. Peace the fuck out.
He retired before the term. What didn't?
I guess I can finally throw my head of lettuce out now.
Well, the term ends next year, but yeah. So he's out. Whoop-de-doo, boo-hoo. Like, no one shedding a tear over Kevin McCarthy leaving Congress.
What piece of shit rises up in his place? Which turd floats to the top of the toilet that is his district?
You know what? I don't even know. So, Ty, as you're drinking your tequila there, do you know whether or not Gavin Newsom is going to hold a special election in California for his district?
He has to. But he didn't the last time for a while.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't heard any like murmurings about it, really. But
so I forget what the time frames were, but I was reading that there are.
I think the rules,
like a date by which he has to call the special election, and it has to be within a certain time frame. But they may be able to delay it as far as like to align with the March primaries they're going to be having in California.
I think there was a deadline where if Kevin McCarthy retired before that, Newsom had to call a special election. But if it was after that deadline, then Newsom had the option to let the seat remain vacant until 2024 or call for a special election. I'm sorry. Look, this is my fault. I should have just been more prepared. I should have looked that up. I knew we were going to talk about this. I've just been busy. If you don't know, so my day job is very seasonal oriented in the sense that it's super busy for fucking Christmas. So I haven't had like the opportunity to. I've just been busy. So yeah, I'm not quite as up to snuff on the minor details as I would be otherwise. But yeah, he's gone. I assume if they do hold a special election in McCarthy's district, I mean, who knows how that'll turn out. Spend a couple, $100 million trying to replace that seat between House Republicans and House Democrats. Cause again, the majority is slim. With him gone and Santos gone and a number of other retirements, the GOP majority is at 2 seats. And I feel like all we need is a couple more indictments from Jack Smith's office and we can get our fucking majority back, kids.
What's his name? Ben Johnson is leaving to head some organization. Patrick McHenry.
Yeah, all them dudes.
He's not coming back, and Marjorie Taylor Greene just hopes no one dies. So there we are.
Well, I don't want anyone to die. I just want them to go to jail. And a side note, it also appears that the House Ethics Committee, run by the Republicans, is going to drop some sort of report about our Florida representative, Matt Gaetz, in his whoremongering with underage youths. I think
that's not called whoremongering. That is
statutory rapery.
And raping.
Well, child sex trafficking is the term.
Yeah, well, you're right, because yes, they were crossing state lines in order to.
They're about to drop it.
Yeah, so apparently, whatever witness that was not engaging in cooperative talks with federal investigators has made their testimony available for the House Ethics Committee, which, I feel like if you just want to go way off into reckless speculation land, it makes it sound like Republicans were freezing this person out, making sure they didn't testify to the feds. And now that they've turned on Matt Gaetz, they're like, all right, pressure's off. You can come in and talk. Very, very strange. Anyway, yeah, if Matt Gaetz is gone, that'll shrink their House majority to 1. And then, we only, and then we only need some unfortunate accident to happen, and then Democrats have control of the House.
Well, is there any way we can politicize like bike helmets and seat belts?
See, you're making a joke, but COVID is still with us. If you don't know, I do. All right, look, sad moment. So one of my Twitter friends, I'm not sure if either of you were following her, but what is it? At Wifey Spice 90. Sound familiar to you guys?
Well, I saw the poster.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was following her.
Yeah, Maggie is her name. I think her handle's at Wifey Spice 90, something like that. No longer with us thanks to the fucking COVID.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's not great. Real down moment. I liked her. She was very friendly and funny, and it's just fucking unfortunate. But I mean, look, COVID's some real shit. Even if you're vaccinated, I guess it's not a 100% guarantee that you won't suffer any severe side effects from COVID, but you got a better shot than if not. And I guess the only good news I can point out from that is a majority of Republicans are the ones who aren't vaccinated and aren't up to date on their booster shot. So anything could happen. Although I feel like Republican members of Congress, them motherfuckers are getting like all kinds of secret fucking COVID booster shots that ain't nobody ever heard of before. Just like Trump got the COVID shot, before he left office and didn't tell anyone.
Well, because he didn't want to. I don't know why. Did he want people not to think he was taking preferential treatment?
No, I think he wanted to continue presenting the facade that ivermectin was the cure for COVID.
Oh, got it.
Oh, and hydroxychloroquine or whatever,
Bleach. It kills everything, including COVID.
Yeah.
Every so often I think about, and look, there's been endless crazy shit that's occurred over the course of the past few years. I mean, ever since Trump was elected into office. But one thing I regularly go back to, because it just, in my mind, it is like, it just highlights the insanity of the Republican Party as it currently exists. And it's that elderly couple where the couple looked at the ingredients of the fish tank cleaner and saw the hydroxychloroquine was an ingredient. And they were like, oh, this is what Trump's been talking about. Let's go ahead and take it. And then the lady ended up in the hospital and her husband ended up dying.
Hydroxychloroquine, that's the malaria medication.
Yes, but in this case, it wasn't medicinal hydroxychloroquine. It was like some compound included in the fish tank cleaner to make it more effective. And they just ate the fish tank cleaner.
Oh.
Yeah. Dark moment. But I think about it regularly because I'm like, this is like the most ironic twist to drinking the Kool-Aid that I've ever fucking seen in my life. Hydroxychloroquine flavored Kool-Aid. Well, I guess in this case, fish tank flavored Kool-Aid.